You guys are listening to the Jesse Lee Falls podcast, where we focus on the micro music business and band rescues.
Here we got soul satisfaction.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I've got my counterparts with me today, Aaron and Jeff.
Hi there.
Greetings.
And we haven't been out doing anything for a few weeks. We've been gearing up to, like I told you guys at the beginning of the year, I was going to boost the podcast and expand and show you guys that I was going to implement the ideas that I'm trying to teach myself or teach you guys at the same time, and I'm implementing myself. So today is kind of exciting. We've got a bunch of cool news.
Ooh, tell us.
So we have a new song coming out and a new video, and we're going to attach we've got a nice little trailer that we're going to attach. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up in a few minutes. And kind of showing you guys the behind the scenes, a little bit of the behind the scenes on the studio project that we just did. So we're super excited about that, and I wanted to do a little bit of name dropping because we're very excited. For one, Justin Phelps, if you guys don't know who Justin Phelps is, he's part owner, half owner of Hallowed Halls in Portland. And Justin is he's actually a very well-known engineer and becoming producer, I would say. And we've had the fortune of being able to work with him on the past 4 projects now. And Justin happens to be what would you call it?
I'd call him a really nice guy. He's great. Hi, Justin.
Yeah, Justin's a good friend.
Yeah. So his mentor happens to be John Cuniberti.
Oh, yeah.
And so Justin was nice enough to send our song over to John Cuniberti to be mastered. And that's a huge deal for me, specifically because if you don't know who John Cuniberti is, and I know a lot of you guitar nerds out there, when you hear the name John Cuniberti, you know who John Cuniberti is, because he's the producer that helped build Joe Satriani's career. It was Joe and John that, that was the... So Justin happened to be in the San Francisco area, becoming an engineer at places like Hyde Street Studio, and he got entangled with Cuniberti somehow, and I can't quite remember the story, but basically what happened was Justin Phelps was eventually asked by Cuniberti to be second engineer on Strange Beautiful Music, Joe Satriani's Strange Beautiful Music album. And he also got to be second engineer on Is There Love in Space? And those are major titles. So, and he's also done work for bands like Cake and Garage Mahal and
Just did Lady Gaga.
Medeski, Martin, and Wood, and I mean it's a crazy list of people that he's worked for, that he's got a chance to record for. And anyways, so we're very excited about the fact that John Cuniberti is mastering our single, and
Yay!
and that we're going to be releasing that here in, I think, 2 to 3 weeks, because I got to get it all spliced together with the video, and basically we're just waiting back. And so anyways, we've got a nice little trailer that we put together, and then we're gonna show that, and then we're gonna come back, and I'm gonna talk to these guys and get a little bit more intimate about the actual studio process. Be right back. All right, everybody. We're here to give you a little inside look as to what the band has been up to. We're in the studio at Hallowed Halls in Portland, Oregon, and we are recording our new single, Aiming Up. brought in a team of friends to help us out with this project. We wrote the song about June of 2024 and wanted to see how long it would take for us to go from concept to a tangible product. And the cool thing about this project is that we didn't even have a rehearsal as a band. So everybody was pretty much game to go into the studio and kind of just hash it out there and see what we could come up with. The title of this song was inspired by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, who reminds us to keep aiming up. Usually when we go into a recording studio situation, we've rehearsed the song a lot, and we wanted to kind of do something different this time and take a challenge and not rehearsing with the band. Usually bands won't do anything like that because of the money and time issue.
We'll get through a section and then we'll probably stop and then, just piecemeal it. You know how we do at home.
Okay.
Does that sound good? Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be releasing the new video February 22nd, so stay tuned. So yeah, we're back, and we just wanted to say thank you guys. We're slowly building this crazy thing, this crazy little podcast experiment.
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And go through the catalog of videos and music, because that's also a big deal. Our objective right now is to get to the point where we have enough hours and enough subscribers that we start getting a quarter penny every 6 months, because right now we're at about 1/8 of a penny, and
You
we
have
want
high
to.
aspirations,
We want to.
my friend.
I had to be aspirated when I was high several times.
No, in reality, this subscribing to the channel is important to get. In today's world, people aren't going to go out and buy our albums, and so subscribing to our channel gives
Bite
you
your tongue, woman.
Yes, they are, and they're going to buy them on
Well,
iTunes.
there isn't
That
anywhere
way,
to
it's
buy them.
Just go to iTunes.
iTunes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, but it's all. You're not going to have a physical album.
Doesn't
like-
matter. They got their physical phone
It's-
and they got iTunes, and every time they do that, we get 69 cents.
But well, that too. But I'm just saying.
It's okay, Jeff. I'm replacing her tomorrow.
By subscribing, it helps the difference between 1970s going out and buying your favorite band's albums versus hoping that people subscribe to you instead of just listen to you online. We want you to subscribe to us while you're listening to us online.
Well, the main incentive is that we're going to keep creating really great content, and we're just going to keep making the content better and better. And the podcasts are really just a way for us to keep you guys informed, and it's almost like like an electronic newsletter of
Well,
how like what we're doing, but also how to take marketing ideas on the micro level and then implement them at the same time as I'm trying to teach you guys out there, how to keep motivation for yourselves and to keep setting goals. But also, it's like, why would you even take any information off of somebody like me that you don't know if I wasn't going to sit here and implement my ideas right along with you? To me, that's where the value is.
I believe that.
I get to hold myself accountable.
Well, and we'll hold you accountable too. But I really believe that all of us, not just us here, but all of you wonderful people listening, we need to start aiming up.
You're such a charlatan.
And that's the name of the new song.
You sleazeball salesman.
Come on, that was a good segue.
And now we're back with the Snake Oil Podcast. We deal in vaporware.
I don't know. When I go do my dealing, I do it in underwear.
That could be an underwear company. You know?
Vaporware.
Try vaporware.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It does exactly what
When
it
your
says.
vapor needs to go somewhere.
Do you smell
Yes,
an
I'm not
electrical
saying
fire?
anything.
That's just my vaporware. Yeah. So we're basically putting our money where our mouths are. We're trying to implement things and trying. We're growing. This is an exciting podcast because this is our first episode that we're going to be putting out into the real podcast world. I've finally got myself affiliated with Buzzsprout, so thank you, Buzzsprout. And I've basically been sticking exclusively to YouTube to basically just to test the waters. You know, I wasn't sure if I even had 25 episodes in me. So, I mean, it's like I've got, almost 30 episodes up, and it's like, okay, this thing's probably going to stick around. So now I'm really, we're expanding that way, but we've also started a Patreon account. So if you guys really want to support us and you really believe in what we're doing, you can go to Patreon and go to the Jesse Lee Falls Band at Patreon. And we're setting up a tier system for you guys to be able to donate to us. And we've got some pretty cool, we've got one tier for $10 if you subscribe to us for $10 a month through Patreon. You can have like a 15-minute phone call session with us where we actually brainstorm some of the hurdles that maybe you're going through as a band leader or as a band, or just being able to bounce real ideas off of people who are professional that actually care about you and your artistic future. Because the problem is that most of us musicians don't have a good sounding board of people to be able to share good news with or even share bad news with. Because you share bad news with people who are like, like good for you, like they're actually happy about it, and then you share good news with people, and then they're pissed at you. So it's like, so it's, having like real professionals to be able to contact every once in a while when you're like, hey, the band is fizzling out, and we don't really know what to do to keep the motivation, or maybe there's a goal. I put together a chart that's really cool that basically goes through all the steps that it takes to be in the top 10% category of being a musician, because you want to get in the top 10% so that way you can refine it and get yourself more into the 1%.
One of the prerequisites is talent.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. So I'm going to be doing a podcast on that on the next go around. So stay tuned for that one. I'm really looking forward to that because I charted it out. I just kind of went through and was like, what does it take to become in that 1% category for a musician? And I came up with an actual checklist. It's a pretty long checklist, but if you have everything on the list checked, then you are in, I would say, the top 10% realistically, and that's how you get to the 1%.
So with this tier system, the more they donate, it goes up, and it opens them up to more and more things. At what point? How much is it? Do they get a sleepover?
Oh yeah. And that's what's going to be kind of fun about this is like we get to set, we get to be really creative in the process of the Patreon account. Because we're literally creating like the perks basically for the different levels of subscription, and so yeah, we're gonna have a level on there where people can actually book the band,
right? Right,
for a certain monthly amount of subscription, and then maybe like up to 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if you pay 100. Or I'm just throwing out a round number, but you pay $100 a month, and then at the end of 6 months, we come and play a house party or something like that.
Right.
So
that'd be a lot of fun.
So we're coming up with some really cool, creative ways for you guys to be able to not just support us, but be able to book us, and we can have a lot of fun with it, and
enjoy us live.
Right.
Yeah.
It won't be like a Diddy party. It'll be more like a Falls Festival.
No.
It's like a Diddy party, just less lube.
Yes.
A lot less lube.
No Diddy.
Probably about 999 bottles less lube.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
If we run out, we'll use sriracha. I know. You just
They're not
can't.
paying me to be here.
They
now.
can't. They can't take me anywhere.
Yeah. So so what did you guys think about the studio experience?
I always love going to hallowed halls and seeing Justin and his wife and the other people that are there. But it just feels like home. You walk in and it's just this really comfortable vibe that's going on, and the studio, they work magic in there. It's Justin is a fucking recording god.
Yeah, it's great to get to the studio. Just pulling up, I feel like, okay, it's like my parking place is always waiting for
Right.
me. It's funny. And you know, you get inside and get your coffee and go sit on the couch and wait for a second, or go to the tiki bar and wait for a second, and boom, you're in the studio getting ready, and it's just fun watching the whole process get set up, and it's a great.
The hallowed halls is really a great.
It's a great room.
It's a venue. It's a room. It's home. But you can go there. They've got the tiki bar there. They also do live events in the main hall.
Which we're
And so-
planning on doing one this year.
Right. So be sure to go online and check out Hallowed Hall's website.
Yes, thank you.
Because they've got a lot of stuff going in there, and they're great people.
And if you're one of my peeps from Southeast Portland, it's the old library when we were kids on 62nd and Holgate. It's awesome, beautiful place.
Well, if they're one of your old peeps, they probably never went in there because it was a library.
We all hung out at the library when we were kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was 3 of them around there. At least I did. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I love working with Justin. He's basically like, as far as I'm concerned, he's the guy I've been looking for 25 years. You know, you go through the process of.
Well, right from the very first project, it
Oh, it
felt
was
like
64.
home.
Yeah, but the 25-year
Hunt.
hunt.
Yeah.
You know, you're going and you're working with. You end up working with so many different studios, so many different people, so many different types of people, and there's been, you know, I've worked with people where it's like, oh, they had a pretty good grip of my music, you know, where I was coming from musically, but maybe they just weren't great engineers, or maybe they're like really great engineers, but they didn't really they kind of just didn't really understand what, you know, where I was coming from musically,
Right.
or there's certain attitudes that, you know, they kind of just, you know, it's a rotating door kind of a attitude, you know, like they're just trying to, like, okay, like whatever, like,
Oh, they just
next,
take your money and
yeah,
okay,
you know,
bye bye.
there's like no love, you know,
Whereas,
there's no love.
you
So
know,
you have to go through all these different.
Well, Justin and his wife came out to the gigs. They gave in the field advice. While on stage, they work with and they listen to ideas so much so that we literally trust what they have to say.
Well,
As
go ahead.
a singer and who's getting recorded in the booth, when you're in your headphones, it's you got to get into your world. You're in this booth, and it's you, the microphone, your headphones, you know,
And Justin,
and Justin talking to you, and you know your music coming through. Well, Justin and Jesse talking to me, and Justin has a way of bringing out. He's worked with me just enough to know what to say to bring out the sound I'm trying to achieve. He can like hear it. And of all funny things, one day he said, "Sing through your teeth." Now, you know, my vocal teacher as a kid is pronounce those words. If it's a you go a, you know,
Right.
your mouth is open. You're not singing through your teeth. But I remember in my mind, I transferred it singing through my teeth, and I got the sound I needed. It was
Right.
great, and it was the weirdest thing to just transpose. But he has a way of saying things to just help you catch what you're trying to do, or get the feel of what you're trying to do. Because as a singer, you're feeling so much about what you're singing and hearing, and it's not just my mouth that's singing, it's my whole body, my whole soul. And to have the people on the other end understand that.
Well, he
Yeah.
he keeps you from getting too deep into your
That's
head
awesome.
and keeps you getting deep into the song.
Yeah.
So that's it's. I
You
know
get a
that sounds
calmness.
weird,
There's a
but
calmness
it's
in,
just
you know, you
you
just-
have your Jedi moment and then you go,
Yeah.
and it's magical.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of knew from the get-go, the first conversation I had with Justin over the phone. I had a friend, Wally Hendrickson.
You'll see him in one of the
There's a little-
videos. If you
Yeah,
look
he's in the Clockwork video.
yeah, he's
so
taking
you
a
guys
nap.
Check that out. But we went on a little trip to New Mexico. I think back in like 2018 or something like that, and we
On the SS Areola.
yeah, and so anyways, it was funny because Wally had he just got a Winnebago, but it wasn't a Winnebago. It was an actual
Yeah.
beaver coach.
Yes.
So it was Wally and the beaver. So we were on a trip to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the bass player, Wally, was asking me if I was going to be interested in doing any recording in the future. I said yes. And he told me about Justin Phelps and Hallowed Halls. And he was telling me that he had worked with Cake. And I was immediately kind of like perked up because when I lived in Sacramento, I worked with the guys down in Paradise Studios in Sacramento, Craig Long and Kirk Shearer, who they were the guys that produced Cake's first 3 albums. So I started kind of calling bullshit. I was like, well, wait, I know those guys. Like, wait a second. Like, who is this guy? Who is this Justin Phelps character? Because I worked with the guys that worked with Cake, So, so I get his phone number and I give him a call. And during the phone conversation, I brought up Cake, and then I said, oh, well, if that's the case, then Craig and Kirk from Paradise Studios in Sacramento. And he said, no, I actually don't know them personally, but I did deal with them, through email and phone calls because we had to send files to each other. And so I was like, okay, well, cool. So, because I'm like, hey, I'm a Sacramento kid and Bay Area guy and all this stuff. And so he asked me what I did for a living. I told him I was a roofer. And then he starts telling me the story about how he was working a session at Hyde Street Studios and the roof was leaking and it was dripping on the console during a session. And he had to run up there and patch the roof really quick because Justin's dad is a roofer. And so he's done roofing his whole life. So I hear Hyde Street Studios and my brain instantly goes to, hey dude, did you happen to get a chance to work with Joe Satriani? And he said, yeah, twice. I was second engineer on Strange Beautiful Music and Is There Love in Space? In fact, John Cuniberti is a very, very good friend of mine. He's like family. And I, totally, my jaw hit the floor.
He had to change his pants.
Yeah. I was like, these pants are toast. So that was a very big deal for me because Satriani is ultimately my, he's my guitar hero. He's,
He has a shrine in the corner.
Well, this guy right here, and I'm gonna have a podcast with my brother. We're gonna go into our top 10 guitarists and why, and so that's gonna be a fun podcast. There's a reason why this guy is on the wall and Joe isn't. It just has to do with the hierarchy has to be in proper order. And even Joe Satriani, if you know anything about Joe, he's a very humble guy, and he would not ever put himself at the top. That's why the top is reserved for him. So
Morgan Freeman?
And Eddie. I'm totally Eddie Van Halen fan.
there's a reason why this guy's at the
You
top.
know,
because
the rumor is that Morgan Freeman is actually Did you know that?
This guy influenced all of our heroes, so that's why he's at the top. So, anyways, we're very excited about Cuniberti being the guy who was chosen to master the song because.
Well, he did Clockwork. He actually did the album "Make America Groove Again,"
That's right.
and they worked some incredible magic with that thing. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, our first, like, I guess it was a full length.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was just over 30 minutes. LP is 30 minutes. Yeah.
We had-
an EP is under 30 minutes.
We got to play with the music videos on it, and that was just a blast. Working with puppets. And
Well, I kind of figured
costumes
that, you
Yeah, I
know,
think we did four
or
four
five.
videos
Yeah.
for that album.
with Justin being the guy really that I've just really kind of grown to love recording music with, it really makes sense because he understands and he's, you know, he comes from that school of thought. Like if you look at the bands that he's recorded, you know, bands like Medeski Martin Wood, Galactic, Garage Mahal. I mean, I think he's even recorded Aaron Neville, Neville Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, he's
love those
recorded
guys.
people. I mean, these super heavy
Didn't-
super funk bands, like some of the funkiest funk bands out there, but then he's also known for recording guys like Satriani, and he's done a couple of Paul Gilbert's albums
Yeah.
just recently, and so he works with like the hardcore funk dudes and the hardcore shredders, and it's like, oh well, my music is kind of right in that. Like if you took both of those categories and put it together, that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So it just makes sense. It's like he really understands the
Yeah.
funk rock thing that I'm trying to do.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just perfect, and
But his advice has been just gold. In this last,
Oh yeah, everything he has.
just it's been so much fun. It's like, hey, you want to go to the studio? Yes.
Is it time again? Yay!
yeah. Well, maybe we'll be producing a whole nother, you know, full length album down the road sometime. But I think that kind of wraps it up for this one, you guys. That was fun, and I'm glad to be throwing out a big shout out to Justin Phelps, Howard Halls, and John Cuniberti. Thank you guys for the hard work, and we hope that you guys enjoyed the trailer. And we'll be airing the video, so
Be watching for that, and also
we'll be
keep
posting that like crazy. so.
coming back, because there's going to be more content. I really would like for us to tell the tale of the SS Areola and some of the adventures that we had on that
Yes,
trip.
yes,
I
we
missed
will.
that trip, so I won't be in
It
that
was
one.
oh no, you can sit there and laugh at us, because it was just an amazing adventure
I'll have to track Wally down.
with lots and lots of laughs and terrifying events. Wally and Matt kept me alive through that thing. That was a pretty amazing adventure.
All right, guys. Cheers. See you on the
Bye.
next one.